Today I've got two great kit options to replace a Leatherman. One with a Knipex pouch and the other one with a Viperade VE10 pouch. If you've watched some of my other videos, you'll see why a Leatherman isn't UK legal carry. In this case, it's the Leatherman Rebar. It has a locking blade, so it's not UK legal carry. Now, there are other reasons why you might want to have something different to a Leatherman. It could be because Leatherman multi-tools are getting really expensive now. So it may not just be because you can't carry it. It may be because there are some times when you want to be able to use two tools at the same time, whereas on the Leatherman, you're restricted to that. So what I'm going to do is to take you through these two options, why they're both good. So this Knipex one is a belt pouch and this Viperade is a pocket pouch. So I'm going to go through the benefits and drawbacks of each. I'll show you how I selected the tools, and hopefully one of these will be useful for you. Starting with the Leatherman, let's have a look at some of the tools that we'll be looking to replace. Of course, there are the Leatherman pliers where you get both needle nose and standard pliers. There's wire cutters there as well, a can opener, wire stripper, a good 3D Phillips driver, a saw, a serrated blade, a file, a normal blade, a flathead screwdriver, an awl, and then a smaller flathead. So you get a lot of tools on this. Just putting them away quickly, and we'll do a quick weight check on this to see how much this weighs and to see what sort of target weight we're looking for. Now, I don't want to get obsessed about weight, and really it depends how you're going to carry it. Now, the good thing about the option about the Leatherman is that in this particular pouch, it can either be a belt carry or a pocket carry. But let's just see what it's coming in at. And it's coming in at 220, let's say 223 grams, or in ounces, that's 7.85 ounces. So that's our target. I don't mind if I go over as long as it fits in my pocket or on my belt. So we had a list of those tools. Let's look at some options for those. So starting off with the pliers, we could have the Knipex pliers, the Cobra XS. I've got some standard wire cutters. Now, I'm trying not to buy anything extra for this. So this is all stuff that I had. I do have a small spanner as well, which could be useful. And then I also have this Gerber dime multi-tool. Now, it has pliers on it and cutters and a few other things. So this could be quite useful. Let's just put this over here. Other things to consider that are quite important. So we talked about knife blades. Now, we could have a single knife blade like this one. This is a bit bulky. Then there are some options with some Victorinox. So this is the Bantam, which is excellent. It also has the can opener, cap lifter, and a screwdriver as well. Then there's the Pioneer X. This has scissors as well as blades and the can opener, and an excellent awl. Then there's the Victorinox Harvester. So that's another option. That has a saw as well, an excellent saw. So if we're looking for a saw blade, this could be one to consider. I've also got the Walker. Now, unfortunately, this has been discontinued, which is crazy because it's a brilliant, brilliant knife. It has the combination tool. So you have the cap lifter, the bottle opener, wire bender. It has a main blade. And then it also has a saw. Not the largest of saws, but very capable. So that's the Walker. And just for sort of completion, there's also a couple of options with the SD Classic, which has scissors, a knife, a small nail file, a small screwdriver, and then this one of my favorites, the Midnight Manager. Now, I'll have to say, I will always have this in my pocket, unless I'm going somewhere where it's likely to get a bit wet, and then I'll have the Classic SD. So I'm always going to have this with me. Looking at screwdrivers, one option, if you're looking budget, could be the Stanley 4-in-1. So this has 2 flatheads and 2 Phillips screwdrivers, 1 at each end. Super cheap, super light. Another option could be this Hoto. Now this is more of a precision screwdriver. So if that's important to you, you can get these on sale anywhere between $10 and $20. So look out for that. And it's a nice small format as well. The Victorinox bit kit. So this is quite good. I've added in some extra bits. It's got a really nice L-shaped bit driver, and the benefit here is you can have it for long reach or high torque. I did get a cheaper sort of knockoff version of that with some bits as well. So that's another option. And I've even got this was given to me by my sister, and it has a benefit of being a pen as well as having a few other things in, and a ruler and a cap lifter. There's also the Milwaukee Fastback. So I'm sure everybody's familiar with this, but the big benefit of this is the 6-in-1 with a bit driver. Unfortunately, it's not UK legal, but an excellent knife and bit driver. Oh, one last one. This is the Steinway super short bit set. It has this nice cellulose acetate sort of bit holder. It's got an extension, and it's got 8 super use dual use bits here. So you actually get 16 bits. This is brilliant. So I'm sure we can use something of that. Also, I could use this. This is the Ratchet Rocket Light from Topeak, and it has an excellent small ratchet, a lot of bits in there as well, and an extender. Let's just pop that in here. Other things that don't come on my Leatherman, so we could have scissors. Now, having small scissors may free us up from having to use a Victorinox with scissors. We have an option for tweezers as well. So again, you don't have to use one of the Celidor Victorinox. You could put tweezers in. A pen, there's the O pen here, which is really useful, really small. You might need to light a fire, so a big lighter is always useful. I nearly forgot, the Weeha bits. So this is a small bit set with an extender, but you can also use it as a screwdriver. So we might want to consider that. Just put that in there. And a couple of extra things. So do we need to have a flashlight in our toolkit? Doesn't come with the Leatherman, but it could be useful. Or we could have a sharpener. So either the Victorinox dual knife sharpener or the Falkniven DC3. I'm just going to put these over here. So thinking about what I want in an in-pocket or on my tool belt toolkit, these are all things I already have to choose from. So if I want to replace this Leatherman, which sort of tools do I want to use? And I actually have the option of putting together 2 kits with this. So one for my belt and one from my pocket. One of the key things about having this in my pocket is, and it's great because it zips up and it has a lot of compartments in here. But one of the things about making this something that I will want to carry is keeping it slim. Often you see these in videos and they're absolutely crammed full. Now there's no way you can carry that in your pocket, and that's fine. I mean, you could have this in a rucksack or sling pack or something, but if you want this to be a true pocket carry, it's got to be slim. Let's start weeding out some of the tools and see what I need to have. And The final point before I go anywhere else is that this is my keychain carry. So this is my part of my minimalist carry that I always have with me. So I always have this i3E EOS flashlight. I always have the Gerber shard. Now, this just means I don't need to have a pry bar really, and there's a cap lifter, but there's a 2D Phillips on there and a couple of flatheads. So these are okay in a pinch, and this is okay if I'm flying because this is flight safe. But otherwise, I think we need some decent screwdrivers in this, but maybe we can get away with using this pry bar if we need to open a tin of paint or something like that. So that's my everyday keychain carry. So as I've got that there are some things that we can take out. So we don't need to have the flashlight. Looking at the range of pliers. Now, I don't use pliers a lot, and looking at the two of these, I think the Knipex is going to be more useful, because for the Knipex, I can use this both for nuts and bolts and to use them as reasonably fine pliers. And maybe if I use the Gerber dime as well, I get a few more tools in here. So I think I'm going to keep these two and get rid of these pliers. I could keep this small spanner, but it's quite heavy. So I think I'm going to take that out as well. Looking at the knives, I think I've got to take out this single-use knife. And to be honest, as much as I love these, and these are often pocket carry just in itself, I'm going to take these two Alox ones out of the equation as well. I think I'm going to keep the Walker because that's pretty useful, and it has the saw as well. I've always got my Midnight Manager, so I can leave that to one side. It doesn't need to go in a kit. And I think if I've got one of these in the kit, I don't need the classic SD. Looking at the sharpeners. Now, I don't think I need to carry a sharpener on me all the time, but these two formats are brilliant for going into a rucksack or work bag. So I definitely want to have these close, and if I'm traveling, or to have them in my car, or, as I say, on my work bag. So I'll definitely have those, but not in one of these small pouches. Screwdrivers. This is a great screwdriver, but it's just a bit long. And looking at the pouches I've chosen, it's not really going to fit very well in the Viperade, and it's certainly not going to fit in the Knipex. So unfortunately, as much as I love this, and often it's in my work bag, the Stanley one is coming out. The Milwaukee Fastback is a brilliant option for having a knife and a bit set. Now, if I lived in the US, this could easily be part of my everyday carry. Because of the locking blade, then it can't be part of my carry. The We Are bit set. This is a great little set, but not that pocket friendly and not pouch friendly. If I have this as is, it's going to fill up one of my pouches, so that's out of it as well. And looking at the toe peak set as well. So this could be really useful, but it's not quite flexible enough for what I need to have. So it's really good for bits. It doesn't have some of the other tools, but what I'll do, I'm going to keep the ratchet from that as I did before. My lovely multi-use pen that my sister got me, well, again, that's something I might have in my bag. It's not going to fit in the toolkit either. So we're getting down to a very small tool set here now, which is great. The Steinwell. Now, if you've seen my video on pocket screwdrivers, this is brilliant. But just taking it apart and looking at the different components to this, I don't think that this knob, am I allowed to say knob? I don't think that this bit holder will fit very well into either of the kits. It's just too bulky. It's too square. So I'm going to take that out. But this bit set is amazing. I think if I've got this mini bit set, I don't need this one, and I'll get rid of this L-shaped driver as well. I think that this bit set pairs perfectly with my toe peak ratchet, and having an extender as well means that I can get into any area that I need to use a screwdriver for, or Torx or hex. And the benefit of the toe peak ratchet is, as well as having the ratchet here, you also can put a bit into the end. So that's definitely a keeper. Now, if I'm going to put two sets together, I think I can use the Victorinox in the other set. So I think I'm getting close to having a bit driver and a Knipex and a knife. I've got a knife, a bit driver, and a pliers there. Now, if I'm talking about the Viperade, I can fit a little bit more in there without too much of a problem. So I'm going to see how this works. I'm not sure about the pen. For the Knipex pouch, let's go with this. So let's see what they're like inside, shall we? So the nice thing about this is that the Knipex fits right in there easily. Then I can fit the bit driver, and I can fit the bit driver and the walker in there, the Victorinox walker. So I think that's a nice little kit. If I wanted to add a pen on, I could do that. So I think I'm going to leave a little bit of flexibility here so I can have that pen. I've always got the pen on my Midnight Manager. I can also bring back the flashlight that I put to one side, and I can always put the flashlight in here as well. So I think it's a little bit of overkill for what I want at the moment, for what I want as my Leatherman replacement. So I'm just going to take those out. I'll leave them there, but just as a toolkit replacement, we'll check the weight on that. Then with the Viperade pouch, let's open this up. So it's easy to put the Bantam in, the Bantam A-locks. I can put the Gerber in here as well. I can have the scissors, and these are good because they're separate. I can have separate tweezers as well. I've got the bit set here, as well as the ratchet and the bit driver. I can also put a bit lighter in as well. So I'm keeping it fairly flat. So if I leave the Hoto for now as my minimum kit, I would say I would go with this for the Viperade. So it's not too fat and it's not too heavy. One of the benefits here, I think, as well, is that if I wanted to, I could easily add the Hoto in as well. So if I want this maybe to not be such a pocket kit, I could fit that in. I could also put in a spanner as well if I wanted one. So I'm not going to put those in for now, but it depends if I want this as a pocket carry kit, which this is, or if I want to have it as more of a bag carry, so to go in my work bag. So, moment of truth around weight. Let's have a look at this, shall we? So I think we were looking at, was it 8.8 ounces? Let's have a look. So 9.8, 9.9 ounces. Not too bad for something with some flexibility in there. And for the Knipex, it's 8.6 ounces as well, 8.7 ounces. In grams, we're talking about 246 grams for the Knipex. We're talking about 280 grams for the Viperade. So there you have it. Two good kit options to replace a Leatherman. I think it gives you more flexibility, and especially if you can't carry the Leatherman, I think either of these would be great. I'm putting forward the Knipex pouch as a belt carry toolkit, and this very slim Viperade, this is the VE10, as a pocket carry. I hope you've enjoyed going through this, I wanted to show you my rationale. Don't forget, you can add more things into this as well if you want a slightly different carry, and which makes it even more of an all-rounder. So the Leatherman is great. I'm not going to say it's bad, but there are other options. And just by buying a small pouch, you can use a lot of small tools that you have to put yourself together a really good pocket or mini belt toolkit. Hope you found this interesting. Please leave a comment. I'm a small channel and your comments really help me. If you haven't already, why not subscribe and you can see some of my other toolkit videos. Why not have a look at this video or try out this playlist on toolkits as well. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.